welcome to my channel. Today we're going to build a Regency inspired castle. I actually had another one lined up to be the first video, but then they released the Bridgerton collab pack and to be honest, it looked really good. So I thought we'd do a Bridgerton Regency inspired castle. So this one does use a few packs and obviously, well actually no, I don't know if it's obviously, I'm pretty sure the Bridgerton one's a kit. You know, it's a kit. So it does use packs and kits, so it's a little bit harder to download. I do apologize. But, yeah, I just wanted to build a Regency castle because I do be loving the Regency era. I really wanted to make this one very period accurate, but it was kind of hard, I'm not gonna lie, because you got to make it functional for The Sims as well. So, as much as I would love to have chamber pots and all kinds of things like that, they don't be having that for The Sims, and it's just fun to have an excuse to include all the activities ever. So some things aren't the most period accurate, but we've tried to go more room inspired kind of thing. So we've got things like a drawing room, we've got and like I think it's like a billiards room. I'm not sure what it's called, but anyway. On the topic of the build though, I started off wanting to do a darker roof, as you saw, but then I looked around and it didn't really fit in with the world very well. So we changed over to the terracotta roof, and I tell you what, I got lost trying to take photos of the build later on. I ended up some random place in the world, and I was trying to find my way back to the building, and I completely skimmed over it. So I feel like it fits pretty well into the world. I could not see it. Now you can see me trying to pick out doors. I had such a hard time trying to pick out a door because some of them felt too castle-y, and then the ones that were like from the Bridgerton pack, or sorry, from the new Royals Legacy thing. I can't remember what it's called, but that's the world we're in, by the way. Can't remember what it's called, but we're in the latest one. But anyway, you can see me trying to pick out doors and windows. Went through a lot of them because some of them felt too castle-y, and then the ones that weren't overly castle-y didn't have colours that I liked. In fact, I've cut out a fair bit of footage of me just simply trying to pick out the architectural vibe I was going through, like pick out a door. It was a lot. And I mean, this video is already really long. If you want to double speed this, I totally understand, because I wanted to speed up this footage, but I couldn't on the thing I'm using to edit it. So we finally land on a style. We kind of go more castle-y because I really want, because when you look up like Regency houses, they usually the big castles are usually remodeled older castles. So you can go, I felt like I could go real castle-y with this because of that. So we land on the windows from the castles kit, and then, so like I said, there was a fair bit of inspiration from real life castles for this one, things like Harewood House and whatnot. The one that they use in Pride and Prejudice, I quite like that one. So I use that for a lot of the exterior inspiration. So we got that real blocky shape, and got like a courtyard kind of section. A lot of the photos you see of these places though are taken from the back, I feel like. Though I guess there's not really a front and a back necessarily. So this one from the front doesn't quite look as much like them because it has the wings that come out on the side. But from the other side, it does look a lot like them. And I feel like that's pretty fitting. But anyway, there's a lot of windows to place. So why don't we talk about the channel a little bit? My plans for this are that it'll be a lot of Sims builds, most likely. I do have some ideas maybe for a few Minecraft things. Probably not any big worlds though. If I do Minecraft stuff, it'll probably be builds and maybe even just YouTube shorts for those kinds of things. And I've been getting into drawing lately, and I reckon I'd like to put a few of those on here as well. But I have to figure out how I want to lay those out. So those will be a while off if I ever do that. For a while, it'll just largely be Sims builds, but there's possibility for a lot of other things. I am open to suggestions though. If anyone has any free games that they want to see me play, I'm down to give them a go. But it will be largely, the content on this page will be largely creating, so established. Sims building, Minecraft building, drawing. It'll be like mostly creating things. So if anyone has any building games, I'm always looking for new ones because I feel like a lot of like mobile games annoy me. A lot of the mobile building games annoy me because you have to complete levels to like earn stuff to then unlock furniture and whatnot. That's why I like The Sims, because as much as you can do that in the gameplay mode, you can also just enter into build mode and just build freely. So if anyone has any free building games, do love those. Always looking for new ones. But anywho, as we can see, lots of windows. And I actually changed the upper wall height. I start off with it on medium and the lower ones are on tall. And I changed the upper ones to tall to fit something. I can't remember. Oh, that's right. The Bridgerton doors are annoying. The arches. The arches, they're annoying. They're beautiful, but they only come in tall wall height, which is great for a lot of things, but not very many things at the same time. A lot of castles probably going to work on tall wall height, but not a lot of things are made for tall wall height, so it makes them a little bit hard to use. So I wanted to have the balconies overlooking the open areas. So to do that, I had to make the upper walls tall, which annoyed me because I really wanted them medium. They look so much better at medium, but whatever. It's the way. Everyone's issues with The Sims after all. But we could also see I went through so many colors on the door trying to figure out, because some of them, this is the castle one, the newest pack one, the royalty one. And some of the doors have details on them. Some are plain, some are different shaped. There is a lot of variety, which is very nice. But at the same time, I was just trying to pick a color, and they're very good colors, but none of them were quite the right blue. They were all either too vibrant or, they're very saturated. They look really good, and I do like them, but they weren't really working too well for this build. But we managed to find one that is good enough, better than the castle one we had going on. I do apologize if my voice in this hasn't been the greatest. I am a little bit sick at the moment, being winter and all. It just happens every year. But you can see I've kind of cut out a lot of the window placing because it gets kind of repetitive. But let it be known with the wall height, I changed them all later because they're all the wrong height. But we've moved around to the front now, and I'm trying to place in the pillars, and I wish they would just let me pull the pillars up over the second thing. I just wanted pillars there so badly, but I couldn't get them to work. And it's so sad. I just want them to be able to drag them up to the second floor. I feel like I've seen people do them, but I don't know whether it's a specific pillar thing or the wall height thing. But anyway, we're trying to get it to look pretty now, putting in a foundation. We're going to put in a little balcony and whatnot, and we're going to decorate it. It's going to look so pretty. This is really where the Bridgerton starts to come in, because I put, I think it's wisteria all over it. It's very pretty. I do like it. But up until now, it's been kind of more fantasy house. It's a very inspired by the world, the outside, because like I said, I wanted it to blend in, but we start to get a bit more Bridgerton with the decorations. Also, you can kind of see in the catalogue below, but they're new stair ones. There's one in the Bridgerton pack and one in the royalty, and I think it's royalty and legacy. I cannot remember the name of it. I really should have looked this up before doing this, but that's all right. Someone will let me know. But you can see there's like two new stair types, and they're wooden stairs with a runner on them. And I love it. They are the only stairs we have with runners, and it's actually really nice. They're a bit ornate for everyday use. It'd be nice if they released a wooden stair with a runner that was kind of more toned down, was something that you could just put in a regular house, because it's actually really nice having the runner. But we can see I cannot figure out the shape of this porch. I wanted to do like oh, that's right. I wanted to do stairs and then a landing and then more stairs. But I couldn't get it to work, so we just went with this. And to be honest, I quite like this. This foundation's not very tall, so it just works having one set of stairs. The new fences, also very nice, as you see them briefly there. They got ones with plants all along them. Very nice. I do quite like those. There's a lot of plants in this. The house is kind of decorated as if they're about to host something. Like there's, as you'll see in later videos, there is flower arches everywhere and whatnot. That's another thing. This is a massive build, and as previously stated, I couldn't speed up the footage enough as much as I would like. So, like, once again, you're encouraged to speed up this video. But because of that, there is actually 3 parts of this video coming out. Today, we are just going to do the exterior. So we'll get into the backyard soon when I'm done with the windows once again. And then the second one, we're going to look at the downstairs and the basement. I do like the basement. It's probably my favorite part of it. And then the third video is just the upstairs. So there's a lot of things cut out, which is why, as much as I say there's 3 videos, there's 3 building videos. If you guys want a tour, I am also down to release a tour because there is a fair bit of footage cut out that you can see in the background. But if you guys want a tour, let me know. More than happy to release a tour video. But it will be a bit later after the rest of these. Being the first video, there is a lot of space to give feedback on if anyone so wishes. So another thing, if you guys feel like I'm jumping around too much, let me know, because I feel like it kind of matches Sims speed builds because they jump around quite a bit. But if it's too much, let me know. I haven't written a script for this. I'm just having fun rambling at you guys about random stuff. It's been very entertaining. But we can see here, we're doing the wisteria. It was just a lot of placing things randomly. It was quite nice. I was really enjoying doing this. I feel like it came out really nicely. I have no idea where these plant bits came from though, what pack they're from, so no idea. I think I used 2 different ones though. I think I used ones from one of the new ones, and then I used like some, like the darker bits you see now, they're kind of like more of a chunky thing. In the bits. So I don't know what happened to the footage at the end there. I tried to, there was a lot more of me doing the wisteria. A lot of my footage ended up like that. I think I had, like, it all got corrupted or whatnot. I don't know. But fair bit of it. It's kind of satisfying the way it melts into sand though, so I left it in there. Now we're getting into more of the fun part now. And you can see off to the side there, I've already done the interior. So this is a bit out of order. You can actually see the drawing room off to the side. But we're currently building the laundry. So those stairs go downstairs into the basement, which is where the servants is and like the kitchen and everything. So we're building the clotheslines not far from that because obviously if like the laundry's down there, you don't want it to be too far. But this gravel, I kept losing it. It was not in the tab I expected it to, and then there was like 3 different types of gravels, as you can see, but I kept losing this gravel. Really, paint is great until you have to find it again, because I can never find it again. All of them, dirt, whatever, I always lose them. And then painting's always an issue, but it is nice to have the free form. So, yeah, we're checking some laundry lines out because we've decided to put laundry day in it. Obviously, you don't need to if you want. I just thought it'd be fun to have laundry day in there. Probably I won't ever use it, but that's all right. I actually like laundry day. A lot of people don't, but I actually don't mind laundry day. It does get chaotic, it does get overwhelming, I will admit, which is why a lot of people don't like it. But it's kind of fun. It's kind of nice having the menial task. It's refreshing, I feel like. I then go and put a hedge around it. I wanted to use these little tiny ones because I thought they'd work, but then I remembered that we have hedge fences, and that was so much better. It took up less space, it was easier to place, and they were taller. So I wanted to put a little hedge around to be like a little privacy section off space. You see me here now realizing hedge fences exist. I debated the fairy light ones for a second there, but decided they were a bit much. But anyway, so I wanted to section off the space, a little bit of privacy and whatnot, so we'll put that in there. Alright, we're jumping ahead again now. We're going to put in a farm. Because I felt like that was another thing that you see in a lot of castles, is that they have a lot of land around them that actually feeds the castle. So we've got a farm. End up putting in a cow and a llama, so we got 2 sheds, 1 for each. I put in some chickens. And later on, I put in a bunch of beehives and bug things because I actually haven't ever used the bug things. But I put in 3 of them because I remember there being 3 things you can put in. But this is a very good build for if you want to do off the grid because it's got everything you need. A lot of the actually, I didn't check the appliances. They might not be off the grid. So if you do, I would suggest putting in some rain catchers and windmills Wind turbines though, because obviously there's no power for this thing. But a lot of the lights are candles, and then you'll just have to check the appliances. I'm pretty sure the ovens are off the grid, but I'm not sure about the rest of them. You'll probably just need some energy for like the fridge and whatnot. But anyway, I feel like the farm works kind of well because in the back of this lot, there's actually a vineyard as well. So I feel like it all kind of ties in. The castle's like self-sustaining. We also end up changing the sheds to match the world. So I've got the white brick with the terracotta shingles, which is kind of fun. I like that. I went for a while to try and pick a fence. I kind of wanted a cutesy fence, but none of them were really working. I wanted like one with an arch, but I couldn't get one that matched the fence type. So I ended up with just a regular wooden fence. I think it was one of the horse ranches ones. Yeah, that one of the big ones. So, and then I picked out a smaller one for the chicken coop. I can't remember. No, I put a big one on it. Anyway, it's a bit big for a chicken coop, but they blend into the fence, and that was the main thing. But let me know, I did try to put in an arch because who doesn't love a good arch? We also put in a lot of terrain paint. I'm very happy with the terrain paint in this farm area. I feel like it looks pretty good. This and the beehives that we'll go have a look at the moment. I feel like it ended up pretty well. But I will cut out a lot of this because I did cut out a lot of the terrain paint because it was just a lot of fiddling around as it usually is. But I feel like it turned out pretty well nonetheless. Now we're moving on to those hives I mentioned. I did put, oh, you can see my pile there. I just went into the activities tab and just put out everything that was an activity and crammed it into this place somewhere. So if there's something you want to do with your Sims, it's most likely in here or is not a pack I own. Because everything ended up in this thing. I even tried to put in a roller rink. I originally tried to put in a roller rink where the farm was, but then I realized not everything was going to, as big as this backyard is, could not go fitting a farm and a roller rink in here. So that did have to go. But I thought it was kind of fun. It also didn't match the building at all. Obviously, none of the colors match because I think it actually has advertisements on the side of a few of them. But anyway, let me know. There was attempts made. But anyway, so we put in like 4 hives. I haven't used either the bees or the bugs before, so I wasn't sure how much of overkill 4 hives are, but I put in 3 of the bug things because, as mentioned, as far as I can remember, there's 3 different types of bugs, so you can have one for each, and then all the honey you could ever need. So if you like honey, you got plenty of beehives. But we put in a farm as well. And you can see me now trying to put in a little garden shed, but the tall wall height came back to get me on this one, so it had to go. And I actually end up putting a toilet in instead because it kind of looks like a garden shed, but then it's also practical in that it's a toilet. But we're building a hothouse now, more of a decorative one for like people to come and visit. So ends up with some exotic plants in it, like I put in some tropical flowers, some trees and whatnot. Spaces to sit and things. It's just a relaxing space for the people of people visiting to enjoy. It's not so much a practical space like the farm behind it, but I feel like it kind of fits in with the farm obviously because it's still a greenhouse, so it's still plants. Once again, the windows came back to get me, and it took me once again a very long time to decide on windows for this thing because the tall wall height is so difficult. It can be so nice, like this greenhouse being tall wall height meant that I could put trees in it, which is lovely, but windows are so hard on tall wall height. But I landed on these ones. These ones are from the Life and Death pack, and I quite like them. They're actually a bit rusty if you zoom up close, but that's only if you zoom up close. They look very nice from back here. Well, I mean, in the footage you can kind of see the rust, but the black ones you can't very much, so put those on there. I quite like them. But then it left me with this band around the top. But I think I end up solving that with glass wallpaper because they added in a whole bunch of those new glass wallpapers a while back, which is very nice. Okay, and now we're adding in that toilet I mentioned. I kind of like go between the two, debated this fancy one because the roof matched the rest of the roofs, but landed on the wooden one because it was kind of, like I said, it was kind of meant to be like a shed, and when it's turned around you can't tell. So I do feel bad for those windows there. They do overlook the farm, but they are a hallway, and I don't think it's gonna ever really matter because it's kind of just the back of the house. It's just a hallway. But yeah, here we go. I put in a glass wallpaper. I managed to find one that had trim in a reasonably similar color. So we kind of go with like a grayish color on the glass, but we just make it solid. And then I think I put in pillars to run up along it. It was a lot of pillars, a lot of windows, and a lot of pillars. But finding a door to match these windows, impossible. There was no matching door. So I landed on a close-ish one. I kind of wanted it to be fully glass. That's why there was that green one. I think at least there was a green one debated for a while there. Because it was a fully glass one. And then obviously I built my thing 5 tiles wide. So of course the door wasn't ever going to be centered, which is lovely. Yeah, the green one. I liked the green one because it was fully glass. That was kind of the shape I was going for. And it was reasonably right height. But it did not match. The windows were too ornate and it was too simple. But anyway, finding a double door to go on this thing was a pain because all the single doors were too low and I wanted it to hit about the height of the windows or higher. So we had to kind of botch it a little bit. We end up with the Get Famous one because it fit in there perfectly. I don't know why this door is so much bigger. But it worked out well. It is more solid than I wanted. I didn't want the stone in there, but I think it works out really well in the end because with the roof line and everything. I think it's not too bad. But anyway, lots of pillows, like I mentioned. We go all the way around with these, and it kind of manages to pull it off. It blends in somehow. Like I was looking back at this build, and I do not remember doing this, so it blends in well. Yeah, there we go. Once you add on the chunky trim around the bottom, what is it? I can't remember what you call it, but the bit along the bottom of the roof. Once we add that on, it kind of covers up all the plain glass, and it works well. But anyway, now we're picking out a glass roof, and to match all the ornateness, we kind of go with... actually, no, maybe we go with a plain roof. I can't remember. No, that we go with a reasonably nice roof, but trying to find a trim for this was a bit of a pain because I have the 2 A-lines, so then the trim showed up on the inside, which annoyed me because it's a glass roof, you can see through it, and here you can see me trying to fix that. So... we're going through a bit of trouble trying to get this. It ends up a lot flatter than I wanted, but we get it close enough. Because that's just how the Sims work. You just go for close enough. So yeah, now we're adding in the aforementioned plants. And as you can see, they're quite vibrant. We've gone island living largely on this one. I'm not too happy with the plants in this. I will admit, I got kind of lazy. Could have done better, but I kind of... The idea is kind of more that you can delete the plants and put, like, plantable plants in it. Like, that's why they're planters and not, like, blocked out plots of grass, which is what I would have done in a regular greenhouse. But I wanted this one to be more that if you were using this build, you'd probably plant your own plants in here. So you'd probably put, like, trees and whatnot in the bigger ones, and then I've got the smaller ones scattered all around to put your bushes and whatnot. So this is kind of more the sim who lives in the castle's garden. So there's a lot of space for whatever sims you want, whatever kind of sims you want to live here, because all the hobbies are met. You can have someone who likes to take care of the animals, or someone who wants to grow giant crops living as one of the servants, and they can be the one who tends to the animals and grows crops. You can have some upper class lady doing the planting. But we're done now. So yeah, that was our castle. I was heavily Bridgerton inspired and Regency, but I'll see you in later videos.